Welcome to the Jeremiah Show. When I was a kid, I grew up near a lake on a golf course in northern Idaho. My best friend's name was Richard Abbey. We spent our long summer days swinging off a rope into the lake and chasing frogs and turtles. When the sun would go down, we returned to his house and we watched one of three videos that he owned: Rambo, Predator, or Police Academy. Police Academy was our favorite. Richard knew every single line of Officer Carey and Mahoney in the Police Academy movies. He would say them over and over again and drive me crazy. I can't repeat his favorite line, but it had to do with sleeping. So I guess you could say my special guest today drives me crazy too. But he drives me crazy in the best of ways. He has made me laugh so many times over the years, and for that, I am thankful to him. And I'm so darn honored to finally meet him. I feel like he was there with us chasing those frogs and those turtles all of those summers ago. My special guest today, if you haven't guessed, is Steve Guttenberg. He's an actor, an author, producer, and director. You know him from his roles in Cocoon, the Police Academy series, as I just mentioned, which is celebrating its 40th year this year. 3 Men and a Baby, the amazing movie Diner, The Bedroom Window, 3 Men and a Little Lady, The Big Green, and Short Circuit. I tried to count how many movies he has been in, but there were too many. So I'm going to see if I can find out today if he knows. Steve's here with me today to talk about his new book. It's called Time to Thank: Caregiving for My Hero. Here's a little bit about the book. Since moving to Hollywood at age 17, Steve has delighted and moved audiences with his film and television work. But when his father is diagnosed with kidney failure, Steve has to step into a new and wholly unexpected role: the role of caretaker. In Time to Thank, Steve tracks his weekly road trips from Los Angeles to Arizona to care for his father. His time on the road also affords him the perspective to reflect on his own life. Through the prism of his relationship with his father, Steve recounts his early life in Queens and Long Island, his early career as a rising Hollywood star, trying to find his way with the encouragement of his parents, and the painful and moving work of helping care for an alien family member at the end of their life. From glamorous Hollywood parties and film sets around the world to daily process of dialysis in suburban Phoenix, Steve offers his wit, his empathy, and signature charm. This is a book for movie fans, for road trip junkies, and anyone who finds themselves doing the hard work of caring for an aging loved one. Steve Guttenberg serves as a uniquely perceptive guide through all of these phases of life, with a story that is certain to touch readers and make sure they know that they're not alone. Again, the book is Time to Thank: Caregiving for My Hero. Welcome, Steve.
Hi, thanks, Jeremiah. Thanks for having me on your show. Thanks for talking about my book, Time to
Yeah,
Thank.
it's a deeply moving and very honest book on the love and the bond between a father and son. I was very touched, and congratulations on the new book.
Well, thank you. It's a very moving story, and at the same time, it's funny.
Mhm.
Uh, Lots of different funny stories about my dad and when he was younger and I was just growing up. Funny stories about Hollywood, and then deeply moving stories about what
Mhm.
it's like to caregive for somebody who's not well. Um, it was terrific to write. I'm so glad we were able to get it published. And I'm here on your show and I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah. Well, so tell me, Steve, who was, and I'm going to quote here, air quotes, the first man you ever saw who held you close and began to teach you the art of living. Tell us about your father.
My dad was a very, very special guy. He was an extraordinary man, born into a regular life. He was born in an apartment in Brooklyn. His parents owned a moving company, and they moved everybody in Brooklyn, Guttenberg movers. Um,
Oh,
he
wow.
uh, he grew up a really inquisitive, smart guy. He loved to work out, became very, very muscular at a young age. He had the genes. He was Austrian, and then at the age of I think he was 20, he, he volunteered for the army. He became a U.S. Army Ranger, which is a very, very tough airborne ranger, very tough job. And he loved the army. And when he got out, he became a New York City policeman. Loved being a cop, just loved it. Met my mother, married her, had me, had my two sisters. Then my mom just couldn't take him being a cop anymore. It was just so dangerous. So she had a cousin who was in the electronics company, had an electronics company, and was starting out in semiconductors. So my dad was one of the first guys into semiconductors. So he
How
left
incredible.
the police department, became a executive.
How
Had
interesting that he was in the police department with your move,
Yeah,
your
he was.
film.
It's pretty fantastic. Yeah, he actually gave me, and I talk about it in the book. He um he gave me the shirt from the police academy that he wore, and which was pretty cool. And I wore it for my audition. Isn't that
Oh,
crazy? And I
oh,
got the job.
really?
Yeah.
Hey, and it gave you a little luck, didn't it?
Oh my God. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did you inherit that great smile in your eyes from your father? I've
Oh
looked at
yeah.
a couple photos. You guys have that same smile.
My dad, just an incredibly charismatic guy, and we just enjoyed each other so much.
Mm,
Um, I want to read a little excerpt from the book.
please.
I was shooting 3 or 4 films a year, flying between time zones, wrapping up on a Wednesday night in Chicago and shooting another film on Thursday morning in Austin. And something happens to you when you don't see a familiar or loving face for a while. There were times it felt like I didn't know who I was. I was flying so fast, I couldn't sit still. I couldn't calm my heart. I couldn't grab hold of the moments they were flying by. But that's how the feeling was when I got the call from my dad every morning. My dad said, "Which police academy are you doing now?" I said, "Part 3, Dad, like Richard III." He said, "Not quite, son, but the money's good. You can probably afford Richard's Castle." And my dad just had a great sense of humor.
Well, can you list some of your favorite characteristics of his?
My dad was strong and kind, sensitive but bold. He was funny, very serious, a great listener, and a great storyteller. He he just loved people. He wasn't a guy who had a lot of close friends. He had a few, and that was it. But he loved to stop and chat. He loved to walk by, see somebody he knew, and have a stop and chat. He loved to be out. He loved to be out of the house, engaging with people. He was he was really a wonderful teacher for me.
Do you find that you have a lot of those characteristics that you maybe have picked up from him?
Yeah, yeah. I have his seriousness, and I also have his funny bone. I have his strength, and I have his kindness. Um, I'm not as good a listener as he is, and I would like to be, but I have his heart, and his heart was what made him.
Mhm. What did you most respect about your father?
I most respected. Actually, there's a part here in the book, "Time to Thank," about I respected his ability to bounce back, his his ability to not let anything get him down. And if he was down, it was just for a little while, and he would bounce back. He just had an incredible amount of reserve and strength inside him. And I talk about that in the book. Um, that I just was amazed by his resilience. My dad's resilience was insane. Come back from anything. He could come back from anything.
What incredible gift to teach you, even as an observer, even if it wasn't a
Yeah.
conscious thing, to pick up on that and to witness that and take that on as well for your own life. What a great, I mean, just a terrific um, thing that he's passed on to you.
Yeah, he
What
really
did
did.
what did he teach you about being a man? Was there
Well, it's
lessons that
funny you
you
say that. There's an instance in the book where I talk about his telling me that you've got to follow through as a man. If you say you're going to do something, you've got to do it. And it happened actually with some firecrackers. I had a big box of firecrackers in my room. My mother found it and went crazy. And my father said, "Well, we're going to have to get rid of these firecrackers." I thought that we would have to put them in the bathtub in a tub of water. And he said, "No, you promised yourself that you would light these firecrackers. So we're going to go in the backyard and we are going to light every single one of those firecrackers." And actually, one of them blew up in my hand, which wasn't great. But he
I
really
wasn't
was very
expecting
big.
that's
Yeah,
that story,
yeah.
that ending.
He was big on follow through, my dad. Really big
Follow
on
through,
follow
no
through.
matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
Okay, Steve, we're gonna take our first break here real quickly. I love that story. That's amazing. I am with my special guest today, Steve Guttenberg. His new book is Time to Think: Caregiving for My Hero. It's published by Post Hill Press. Steve's book offers all of you caregivers out there right now listening, all of us that have been caregivers for a sick family member, gives you a shared story and a shared story that you can connect with and a shoulder to lean on in ways with this book. It's just an incredibly thoughtful, heartfelt book. I really encourage you to pick up a copy. It's out now. Order it now on Amazon and it arrives before Father's Day. I looked this up. I know this. You can find and follow Steve Guttenberg at Steve Guttenberg on Instagram and Facebook. If you don't know how to spell his last name, it's Guttenberg, and you'll find him right away. Again, pick up your copy on Amazon. 2024 is also the 40th anniversary of the Police Academy movies. It continues to be one of the highest earning film franchises ever. Incredible. Praise for Time to Think by Woody Harrelson, actor and playwright, says this book provides a poignant roadmap, of life's journey, illustrating how those who care deeply pour their everything into ensuring no one feels alone. Personally, knowing Steve Stanley, is that a nickname?
No, Stanley.
Family, visiting each other's homes and witnessing the devoted care from his family. I had heard that alongside Steve's unwavering presence has deeply influenced the memories and love for a father within this book. It promises to resonate with you, offering insight into a shared experience to which we can all relate. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.